Hey everyone, Bee and Livy here,
What's up?
and we're here to talk about the sponsor for this week's episode. This week's sponsor is Monster Care Squad, Legends of Aldamura, a Ghibli-inspired tabletop adventure of healing monsters and solving local problems.
Yeah, it's a really great game. You play as monster care specialists who are elite vets, and you're equipped with knowledge to heal any wound. You travel around, going from town to town, finding monsters that are infected, and basically you heal them and make them all better.
Yep, it's set in a whole new world made by the amazing crew behind Sandy Pug Games, and oh my god, I know this is an audio medium, but this game's art.
Oh, 5,000 infinity out of 10. Everything looks amazing and fantastic. I just want to look at it all day.
This would normally be the part where we tell you to support the project on Kickstarter because we really want to see it happen. But about that.
Yeah.
Within the first day of Monster Care Squad going up on Kickstarter, it was fully pledged. It has now been about a week, and it has $32,584 out of a $7,500 goal.
It still has 21 days to go as the time of recording this, so you can still go ahead and back it.
Backing it will get you a PDF, it'll get you an art book of all this amazing work by, their artist Leafy draws. You'll get a 10-track OST, which is amazing, made by the incredibly talented Helen Taubert. Kira Magran is going to be making a introductory adventure to get you more equipped for the world. You could even spend a little bit more and get a print run full-on book instead of a PDF. There's going to be a solo mode, and the money you'll be providing will go into the Aldamura Historical Society grant, which is... The grant is giving smaller creators money and resources to create fan work in the world of Aldamura.
Yeah, they're basically paying you to make art.
Or other projects. I can state on record, we have been talking with the folks behind Sandy Pug Games, and safe to say sometime soon we might be getting a chance to dip our toes into this world, which is really exciting.
Yeah, I'm excited to see if we can play it.
I know Heather's been yelling at me since the day we found out about Monster Care Squad that she's desperate to run this.
And we will gladly let her.
Oh, for sure. Not much else we have to say. Back it, because it's awesome.
Yeah, just do it because it's cool.
I always love reactions to that box.
I physically winced.
It's you get used to it. No, you don't. You really don't.
Now we're recording.
Hi everyone. Welcome to the 9th episode of 3DMs in a Tavern, where we slowly lose our sanity at our dear bots. We have a very special guest today. Why don't you introduce yourself, Ren?
Hello, my name is Ren Halen and Trina. I am the DM of another podcast called Here There Be, and I'm very excited to be here talking with you.
Yeah, you're running a really cool show, and I have been pretty avidly listening. So I was really excited to hear that you were going to be on. So, we also have Lance and Spy, our usual suspects.
Sup?
And we're just gonna answer some questions from the D&D server, from our server and the Here There Be server. Wow, I It's early for me, which shouldn't
What
be
do you
early.
mean? It's
It should-
1 p.m.
We're on quarantine. It's early for me.
You
that's
don't get to
fair.
talk, B.
I do not get.
You're
to
2
talk.
hours ahead of me. You don't
You're
get to
Yeah,
right.
Lance is on Pacific time. He's the earliest out of all of us.
Yep. Okay. So, starting off with the questions, we still have some left over from our live show, so I think we should kind of start plucking away at those and then answering some questions from Here There Be's server.
Oh, yeah.
So, let's see. I'm just gonna go at random because why not? The Silver Desk asks, "What is the best thing you've used?" Oh, I think we did answer this one. We did answer the world building one. How do we get them involved?
We
did
did.
that with
We
Nick.
answered that with
Yeah.
Nick. Yep.
Okay. Livy asks, "Being a DM, what is one of your favorite moments when the roles were switched and you became a player?"
Ooh.
Hmm.
Interesting question.
Yeah, I've been playing D&D for a bit over 3 years now, and for the majority of that time, I've always been the DM. I've been a player a few times, but I only got to be in one shorter campaign, which a friend DM'd, who I normally DM for. The campaign itself actually took place in the same world that all my other campaigns have taken place in. So it was really fun to like hand the reins over to him for a bit and then like play as a character in this world that I originally created.
That is really cool.
Yeah. It was like the campaign was set on this small island, so it was very removed from anywhere else we'd explored in this world before, but it was a wild campaign, man. There was a twist at the end, which woo-hoo-hoo-hoo. It was so that was very special. That campaign, I love that campaign. Like I loved what he did with my backstory, and yeah. I love that campaign. I love thinking about it. Oh,
That's the best shit. Is when the DMs go all in for character backstories.
oh yeah. It's kind of like with his first D&D character, I went wild with his character backstory, so he was kind of like returning the favor with mine. There's a whole thing of like amnesia and people forgetting memories and people and stuff like that. So it was kind of payback in a way. He was taking revenge on me, but also I loved it.
Yes.
That is how it works.
Oh god. Oh god, I just got a rush of primal fear. My dad texted me a TikTok. I'm afraid.
Don't do it.
I'm afraid. I'll open it later, but just that is almost as bad as the time he texted me out of nowhere. Hello with 5 exclamation points.
Oh my god.
Good lord.
I'm unleashed a monster. Anyways, that sounds like so much fun. That really does.
Yeah,
It was
awesome.
indeed.
There's that moment when you realize that one day you will no longer be the DM and your players will become the DM and you regret every bad decision you made against them.
Do you mean campaign 2? Livy's incessant bullying of Holloway? Yeah. I regret some of my choices. Oh god. I guess that's my answer.
As you should.
Yeah, I do regret some of the choices I did to Sari because oops, I forgot she was in charge this time around. Oh boy. Anyway. No, but that sounds awesome. I'm really happy that the idea of being a player in your own world is so appealing.
See, I love the idea of being a player in my own world. However, I am obsessive about my world building and the amount of like you'd need to take an entire degree's worth of courses to have the understanding required to DM a game in my world. So I'm relegated to the forever DM position by my own hubris, pretty much.
It's the same here, really. The amount of time and I've put into world building it's a lot. And so there's certain I'm quite protective over a lot of what I've created. So
Mood.
like my friend who DM'd this campaign, I'm sure he is going to DM again for this world. And like there are many things which I'm like, you do not touch this. Like you do not touch this god, you do not touch this location. They are mine.
I'm sorry, but the cadence and tone with which you said he's going to DM again made me like think you were talking about a serial killer. He's going to kill again. We need to stop him before he DMs again.
I mean, with the way his campaign turned out, yeah. It was good, you know. It all turned out well in the end. It was a little bit bittersweet, but happy ending mostly.
Mostly.
Mostly. He
Oh,
did
man.
kill my granddad, which I was mad about, but aside from that, it was okay.
Okay. Thank you, Livy, for this amazing icebreaker question. Let's see. Jumping over to one of the questions from the Here There Be server. They ask, what was it like DMing for the first time?
Oh, bad.
Isn't that
bad.
always?
I mean, so like I said, I've been the DM most of the time. I've been playing D&D, and I did start out as the DM, and I didn't even know what AC was in the first session. Like I didn't know what I was doing mechanically. Good lord, I don't want to think about it. But like we had a lot of fun. And the story was good, you know, even if I didn't have the rules down just yet, it was great. It was a lot of fun.
I mean, yeah, that's fair. You know, even if you fuck up, you know, it's as long as it's a fun fuck up, I suppose.
Mm.
Yeah.
It was quite
Yeah.
funny because I knew, you know, I'd watched like Critical Role before, so I knew bare basics and I knew they had to roll dice. So I was like, so they started fighting some goblins and I'm like, okay, roll for that, roll to hit. And then they roll and I'm like, what does that mean? What are they rolling against?
Oof.
So I
Okay.
kind of just made some stuff up on the spot. Players didn't really notice anything, so it was all fine.
They didn't know
No,
anything.
that means you succeeded. The secret to DMing is just you gotta make it all up. It's yes and.
Yeah.
That's all it is.
Great.
Yeah, my first experience DMing was actually I rolled to drink it. That was the session. I ran the test session for 2 of my players for the escape artists, and the first thing that I had to deal with was I rolled to drink it. Actually, no, the first shit that I had to deal with for my players was them obsessing over the moss. You cannot smoke the moss. It's just moss. If a man has no moss, then he is lost. But the same man can be lost in the moss.
Oh my
And then I roll to drink it.
Drink the moss?
Drink the tomb water, the 1,000-year-old
Oh.
tomb water.
Oh, no.
Yeah.
Oh,
Ugh,
Just as
that's
bad.
a bad choice.
that's no.
He got a nat 20.
All right. The very first roll in our campaign was a natural 1, and
Hey, that's a good omen.
It was the wizard rolling to help the druid take a stick out of her hair that had got stuck in there with honey. Yeah, and he rolled a natural 1, so he ripped a chunk of her hair out, and yeah, she's still got a bald spot now.
Ah, man.
My first DMing session was about what you'd expect. I had played as a player like 3 times before that, before I foolishly was like, I want a DM. And I didn't realize that was a contract, meaning you couldn't ever play as a player again. But yeah, my first campaign had Fantasy Subway.
Good.
And it was just everywhere. And I got angry because the players derailed what I had written down, which was like a 20-page novel of what was going to happen. And that's
Well,
when I
there's your
realized-
problem.
Yeah, I know. That was my first time realizing that players will do whatever the hell they want and they don't care about the story. line. So I got angry and I'm like, what are you doing? That's not what you're supposed to do. And they're like, what? And I'm like, never
They don't care
mind.
about it until you make them care.
That's why I don't plan much now.
Yeah. We learn as we grow.
Yeah. And I thought, I've never DM'd a campaign that long before, and then I woke up in tears.
Yep. My story for my first time I DM'd, I feel like I ran. So this requires a tiny bit of context. My buddy Graham was the person who got me into D&D. And him and his brother Jackson got me into D&D. You may remember Jackson as the person who ran Wild Sheep Chase when I, being a pompous little shit, ended up playing a character named Sir I Don't Care. Thanks, Jackson. You put me in my place, and now I'm here. I credit it all to you. Anyway, when Graham wanted to start his own campaign, I made a bard named Lynn. Totally not because I was in my Hamilton phase. How dare you? And as that campaign came winding down, Graham wanted me to start DMing. And I was like, yeah, I can do that. And almost as soon as I said that, the problem player started rearing their head. Like the second I shook Graham's hand, I was like, yes, I'm going to DM next. We started realizing one of our players was getting really problematic. Like the second I did it. And I was like, God damn it. Why did I agree? It was a tiefling sorcerer who thought that charm person meant, well, I won't finish that sentence because I'm sure you can guess.
Oh.
Yeah, he was a high school football player, so you can imagine where we were.
That's reassuring.
So,
Woof.
after some here's the thing though. Bear in mind this was a whole group of people from the same school. We would go after school to play D&D. So the intrinsic I was telling Graham to kick the person out, and Graham learned a lesson about sticking up for himself that day. But for a while he didn't, because we all went to the same school and he didn't want to cause actual problems. You know what I mean? And long story short, I ended up DMing like 2 sessions. Problem player was still a problem. I bailed, and I had already worked out a whole campaign where the party was going to be taking on the forces of a shadow dragon. And so then I was like, I like this aspects of this campaign, but I don't want to run it anymore because I feel like it's been tarnished. What if I made this the backstory for my next campaign? And now we have campaign 1 of the Frostwalkers.
I'm sorry, but I'm just thinking, you said bring it up as real life problems in school, and that combined with the whole football player thing made me think of hey nerd, why'd you kick me out of your D&D game?
Yeah, basically that was what Graham was afraid of.
You think you think he'd be shameless enough to actually admit that?
Yes, I know the person in question. Yes.
Oh no.
I know.
All right, carry on.
I've known the problem player for like a few years. The answer to your query is yes. So much yes that he'd do it in public and screaming. That kind of shameless.
Woof. Okay, I take it back. Carry on.
Anyway, let's see. God, do I have to? See, the thing is, I know what we call them, like, as shorthand, but I also know that I can read their screen name, but their screen name is so much. All right, let's just do it. Bite the bullet. Booberry, the whole dumbass, asks, what's your go-to plan when a player comes to you? What's your go-to plan when a player comes to you with a homebrew item they want to use? So if they have found something off the D&D wiki, which I don't know why they're looking there for good homebrew, or maybe the DM's Guild, where they might actually find something cool. Use the DM's Guild over the homebrew wiki. I am begging you at this point. Anyway,
I refuse to allow sans in my campaign.
we have dealt with the homebrew wiki for what, 5 episodes? I think
at least
5 episodes, and I can feel the life force being sucked out of me every time I log onto that website for this segment. So, but in a hypothetical where your player comes to you and says, "Hey, I saw this item in a place that it's not broken. Let's assume, for the sake of Blueberry's question, that it is not a broken item. What is your go-to plan? Do you let them have it? Do you just go like, okay, and hide it in the world somewhere and let them earn it? Like, what's your go-to plan?"
I guess it depends what it
Honestly,
is.
yeah. Depending on what it is, I mean, most of the time, if as long as it's not broken, like I figure, why the hell not, right? Let them have fun. Like
Hmm.
my necromancer has a fucking fanny pack of holding because I thought that was one of the funniest things in the world. Is a bag of holding, but it's a fanny pack.
Yeah, that's funny.
Fucking
That is funny.
It's especially funny when you know what fanny means over here in the UK.
yeah. No, I'm aware.
Good. So yeah,
Yeah.
I think it depends on the severity of the item. Like a bag of like a flavored bag of holding, I would just give. But if they're coming to me with like a raging flaming poisoning sort of doom level threat, then I'm gonna be like, let's like put this away. Let's put the thing down for a minute. You'll have, I promise you, you will have it. But not now. Just trust me. As I like take the PDF and like hide it.
Yeah, it's one of those things where if they come to you with a homebrew, find a way to fit it in. Doesn't mean they get to have it. Could be an enemy has this giant flaming sword of doom, but at least you incorporated it into the campaign.
And then they kill the enemy, and then they get it. And now there's some reward to it.
Yeah, so you gotta earn that flaming sword of doom.
Yeah, heck yeah.
Yeah. If it's like a super powerful item, and it's really cool, like my one of my players brought to me the Ring of Second Chances, which is it's a little wooden ring that basically, if you die, your players can come back to life. Basically, yeah, catches and encases the soul of a creature that dies wearing it, allows them to be resurrected by burning the ring. Which I thought was really cool and a nice like insurance policy / safety net, because my players are dumbasses and I know they're probably gonna fuck up in some way. And I'm in terms of like campaign, I'm pretty story focused, which is odd because in the general sense, I'm a very concept focused world builder, but I digress. I want my players to have fun, and I want my players' characters to have happy endings. So that's a nice like security net. So I'm still working out exactly how, but I definitely want to include these rings in the campaign in like a tangible way. That way, in case they fuck up, they have a second chance.
Yeah. What about you, Ren? Have you had any experience with like homebrew items and just wild things like that?
Not a lot, actually. My players don't typically come to me with homebrew stuff. There's been a couple, actually, rather than magical items, it's usually spells that they want to create.
That's so cool, though.
So there's a spell that the wizard has in development at the moment, that he's like, narratively we're putting in a thing where like he's gonna discover this spell at some point, and we're still sort of ironing out the details, but at some point that'll come into it. The druid, basically the druid's player wanted to do, in Narnia when
you're speaking my
when
language.
okay, so when the trees like send a message from the girls to the boys that Aslan's dead, spoilers and all that, and you see like the petals, and you see the petals flowing through the wind and all that. Basically the druid wanted to do that, to send messages to people. So what we came up with was basically sending, but tweaked for a druid.
That's
nice.
Really cool. And also, as someone who has watched that movie almost every Christmas, I very much appreciate that, because that movie is a Christmas tradition at my home. So that's nice. My gosh, that's so cool though. And like since I'm aware of who you're talking about when you say the wizard and the druid, I'm like, oh my god, yes. um anyway. Next question? Question mark?
Actually, I think this kind of leads in well to the thing that I have pulled up for absolutely horrible ideas.
Oh, sweet. Then let's go into that.
Yeah, so this is this is an absolutely horrible D&D idea that I must try out ASAP, and it is oddly specific curses that aren't even harmful, just annoying. Like curses where on Tuesdays you can't say the word Tuesday.
Oh yes, I've said this one.
Yes, this is a post thread started by Tumblr user Magic Act. And I love the idea of an oddly specific curse that isn't even harmful. Curse where on Tuesdays you can't say the word Tuesday. What day is it today? Second Monday. And then there are some Instagram comments here, like at 8:15 every day you gotta say, well, I'm gonna hit the hay. It's called the dad curse. You can't use more than one pillow to sleep on the day after you eat whole wheat bread. You can't type the letter M for 3 hours after drinking lemonade on Sunday between 12 p.m. and 3 p.m. in the summer. Every 10 years on April 3rd, you can't eat brownies.
What?
This one is horrible. When you walk, instead of the sound of your shoes on the ground, it's the sound of scratching styrofoam. Dude, he said not harmful.
Oh, I hate that.
Every third Wednesday in September, you can't eat more than one Oreo. If you eat more than one Oreo, then you can't watch the 2007 version of Hairspray for a week.
What?
You can tell these are engineered for specific people.
Oh yeah, you can tell. People are just like calling out their like enemies right now.
Every time you wear a solid colored V-neck t-shirt, any cat within 50 feet of you falls over.
Oh my god, this is powerful.
These are good.
I've been...
Oh, woof! Okay, sorry, there's one in the comments here that says, each time you turn in an assignment late, apples gain slightly more of a blueberry taste. This is not reversible.
Oh, I hate that.
Nope, I quit.
It's the worst. I hate that. Wow. Because oh man, I can't imagine it the first time where it becomes blueberry enough for you to realize what's going on.
It's like tacos, key lime, Go-Gurt.
Oh no. It's the worst.
Everything I drink tastes like key lime Go-Gurt, baby.
The worst thing ever. Oh my god. Oddly specific curses. Sometimes more powerful than actual curses.
Oh, this one. If you pulled this one, I dare any of you to pull this one on your players. You can never speak the same number of syllables per phrase twice in a row.
Oh my god, that's impossible. That'd be impossible for me to keep track of.
That would be so fucking annoying. Lance, do it to Botchus. Do it to Botchus. I dare you.
Okay, me and Botchus share one brain cell. I don't think we could, I don't think he could do it, and I don't think I could keep up with it. So...
Botchus has a hard enough time surviving already. Please don't make
That's
it
hard.
Oh god, wait until you guys hear the last episode we recorded.
Oh my god.
It's a two-part.
I feel like you say this every time we record, and every time we record, you're right.
Let's just say that we made the first death save rolls of the game.
Oh no!
That does explain why the episode is called "We Hate This Planet."
Oh no! This is later on. That was actually just because they don't know how to handle animals or trees.
They don't know how to handle trees.
No, I think it's episode 42 and 43 are a two-part episode, and yeah, we made our first death saves of the game.
Yikes. I was just going to make a joke about how many times we've had to fix Botchus' leg. Here we are.
Oh, yeah. Nora being proficient in fixing her boyfriend is my favorite thing.
Perfect.
Man.
Man, okay.
An oddly specific curse for Botchus would be your leg rusts faster than but faster than regular metal.
Ooh! He
Mm.
said not harmful!
It's true.
God, alright. Oddly specific curses for your characters. Shit.
This is just why you have just use more hags, do more of this. This is why. Because hag curses, the books say that even like wizards don't understand how hags do what they do. So if you're listening to this right now and hey, I want to pull some shit on my players, but I don't know the means of conveyance. Just throw in a hag, just a hag, random hag. That's all you need. All you need.
Would recommend. It's great fun.
It is very fun.
I stuck 3 in our home game, and boy,
Oh, were they a coven? That's so much worse.
yeah, they were a couple. Yeah.
Oh my god, yeah.
Lovely.
The coven spells when they're together is it's so bullshit. I love it so much.
Well, that's fantastic.
Just if you are like, hey, here's the thing, because of the coven spells and because of the RP potential, hags are a threat at any level. Don't let their CR fool you. Because if you're playing a hag right, you may never come to initiative with them. I say having had my party kill them because it was an early thing and I realized, maybe I bit off more than I could chew with this first arc. But yes, if you're playing a hag to be a long-running thing, you may never even need to roll initiative to make them a threat. I fucking love that.
You can mess with players so much using hags. Just, it's great. It's great.
They're so fun. They're like the closest to they're like the closest thing to having something written in the monster manual saying like a note to DMs, go wild.
Yeah.
Have fun. This
All right,
is
hang
your
on.
moment.
Slow down, guys. I'm writing notes.
God, Orion's Echo, while being super scientifically like based.
Oh, this wasn't for OE. This is for Death and All His Friends.
Oh, good, because I was gonna say the image of a hag in space is fucking terrifying.
God,
Ooh.
space
I'm
hags.
so gonna do it. Challenge
Ooh.
accepted.
Oh God, Lance.
That does sound fun.
I'm just imagining a gingerbread house on an asteroid.
Oh no.
It's so good.
How would it even survive? The asteroid hoppers would get it long before the players would get to it.
You're assuming that that's not exactly what the hag's planning on? Rat stew, baby.
They are her pets.
You said that with such gusto, it makes me wonder if you've actually had rat stew before.
I've never had it, but I've heard like every single time I've dealt. Maybe it's because I've played in a lot of games with Hallie, because every time Hallie has introduced a hag, or I guess the 2 times that we've done the charity stream, there's been a hag, and each time something involves rat stew, and I don't get it, but I just assume it now. So yeah,
That ties in uncomfortably well.
so
Lovely.
Jitter, my god, I'm just realizing the first act of Jitter proving he is Jitter is consuming rat stew. So Jitter technically did have rat stew
No.
in the stream game because the hag was very nice. Like Jitter did insight to see that the hag was like just really lonely. And Jitter was like, I'll have your stew. And they were like, oh, thank you so much. I've never had to share a meal with someone in ages. And all the rest of the party are like, he's gonna die. And he didn't, but his stomach didn't like him for a while. I bully Jitter, I'm realizing. Anyway, next question before I feel bad for my bird son.
Yep, this has been an absolutely horrible D&D idea that I must try out ASAP. We've gone from inconvenient curses to hags to rat stew, so that's about standard for this segment.
Yep. Let's see. Another question. Let's see.
Krova asks, what is the craziest NPC you've created as a joke that you've fallen in love with and now cannot live without?
Oh, see, I wish we had that question for Nick, because I know his answer would be Coot,
Right.
the turtle chef who is just completely senile. Love him. Personally, so far, I've got to say Dr. Theodore Reticle.
Mm-hmm.
Dr. Theo Reticle.
Oh my god.
He's the head of the physics department. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
hate it.
Dr. Theo Reticle.
I fucking hate that. Thanks.
Well, what can I say? Except
God, Lance! Lance,
what do you expect him to do about it?
Lance, answer the question so we can stop having silence. I'm begging you. I'm begging.
I'm gonna let Ren go first. I want to hear what she has to say.
Ren, do you have an NPC that was more of a joke that just you fell in love with, can't live without now?
Well, not exactly. I haven't made a ton of joke NPCs. You know, I've done ones with like funny voices, but they usually haven't stuck around for very long. So the closest thing I can think of with this, last year, I came up with the idea for a D&D character that was a tiefling furbolg that looks like a Highland cow.
Oh my god!
Oh,
I drew this
Yes.
character, and it's on my Twitter. I'll send you lot a photo later. But
yes.
So this character, I a few months later, a friend invited me to come play as like a guest player in their Curse of Strahd campaign for a few games, and I decided to play this tiefling furbolg. I gave them a Scottish accent, and then later I found out that the DM had actually lived in Scotland for a few years, and so my bad accent was kind of embarrassing. But there's when's this episode coming out? Real quick question.
Fuck if we know.
Yeah.
Okay.
It could be whenever you want. Like I've done.
Cool.
I've done 3DMs editing in like a day for Hallie's because of a time crunch. I've done it. I've waited weeks. Whenever you are comfortable with it is when it will be up.
Well, all right. It doesn't matter too much, but I was gonna say, this Tiefling Furbolg is now an NPC in Here There Be. They haven't shown up yet, but they will very soon. So
Nice.
Oh, nice.
Spoilers.
I'm excited. I love this character.
They sound very, very, very fun.
Yeah.
Yes. Oh man. Okay. Lance, do you want to go?
So I have two that are okay, there's one that's like they haven't stuck around, but they became very inside jokey with the group, and
That's
that would
fair.
be Frank, and his brother Beans, Frank and Beans.
God, how could I forget about Frank and Beans?
Yeah, Frank was born first, and then Beans, Mr. B, the potion shopkeeper who has the horrible voice, was born second, and his parents just have a horrible sense of humor. That was the NPC that was kind of a big hit. Even if it was just for one episode, there's still jokes about Frank and Beans. And then Sito is probably the second one. I've said this before, Sito wasn't supposed to be a big character in 20-Sided Adventures. He was just mainly supposed to stand in the corner, and if you had a question, you could ask him, but that didn't work out. So
no, if you make a character who is baby, you better be expecting your players to instantly adopt them.
This is
true. So now there's a, if anything happens to Sito, we riot fan base going on. So
I mean, I'm part of that fan base, so like, yeah.
It's true.
What did you expect to happen, really?
So what you're saying is you tried to write a video game NPC and you ended up with Sito.
Pretty much.
Good. Ah, man.
That
Let's
feel
see.
when your players adopt the tutorial character?
God. This Undertale. I'm sorry. Anyway, not even gonna finish that statement because we've already had enough sands in our lives. For me, there's two. And it's mostly by choice. I mostly just like I make PS NPCs because I'm like they're not gonna matter. No.
No, they matter. Quite a lot, it seems.
Yeah. So like, case in point is Memphis. I made
Sonic
an episode
Elf!
Sonic Elf. Yes, she was Tim Schill's mail courier, and I was like, I could make them like have a little cart. I could do all this, and I was like, nah, they run. That's funny. It's like, yeah. It's like they run fast too. Oh God, I've just made Sonic, and then I leaned into it, and I made a female half elf, blue hair and red shoes. And each time she appeared on screen, I described her attire and hinted more and more at her true origin. And I think in episode 7, someone, I think it was Lee just fucking starts shouting at me about making Sonic. I'm sorry. I had.
You chose to.
Yes. And then I made a young little dragonborn named Benedict because, I don't know, The Hobbit's a good movie.
Oh, you son of a dick, I just got that.
Really?
Yes!
Let's see. So yeah, Benedict and Memphis are like my two. So the Tim Schill just had a lot of joke NPCs.
Honestly, though, is there any other way to do it?
Yeah.
Alright. Shall we move on?
Yeah. I don't even know. Let's see. I should probably do more to hear their B server.
Yeah, I do not think we're going to be able to answer all of these questions.
I do not think
There's a
so
lot of
either.
them.
So much like in the way that we started with doing back and forth, and in the end just kind of plowed through Luke's server's questions so we can, get all those done. Let's do that. Let's see. Were you a player or a DM first?
DM.
Player.
Yeah.
Player.
Oh,
Oh,
very
Red
bad
was the
player.
first DM. No.
Aww.
Let's see. What's your favorite part of running a session? Like the best? Would you say the start's the most exhilarating? The end? Like what part makes you satisfied? I guess.
I'd say it's always roleplay moments.
Yeah.
Whenever there's a really like significant roleplay moment between players or between a player and an NPC, like with the people I play with, like Jack and Eva from Here There Be, but other people I've played with as well, they're also good at like roleplay and all this character stuff. It's like, was this scripted? It feels like it was.
That's the best.
What I really love is like when they have a roleplay moment and they find a way to they like they tie it in with the narrative or it what's the word?
But yeah, I get what you're saying. Yeah, the when they basically just good character moments is where it's at. I agree. Although I would say like usually the finale has some pretty goddamn good character moments.
Oh, cliffhangers.
Ooh,
That's always
yes.
fun. That's always
Yes.
fun to put in a session.
I love ending on cliffhangers, and I cut out the screams of my players at the very end, but I really should start leaving them in when I say, that's where we're going to end it today. They all go, no!
Do it. I keep them in because it's always entertaining. The best example was like 3 or 4 episodes before the very end. I call session and one of our now permanent cast members, Heather, just fucking, who at the time was just a guest star, just fucking gets up to the mic and shouts, "Bitch, what the fuck?" And then I cut it off right there.
I remember this. That was so good.
I didn't let it finish. I cut off at the fuck, and I was just like, "This is comedy gold."
Bitch, what the fuck?
That is good.
I then cut into music, and I remember when that episode came out, she messaged me and just was like, "B, fuck you so much, thank you."
Yeah, I'd have to say that those moments where the players can really get in into the emotions of their characters, like when backstories start to open up or something happens to an NPC that they love, aka Sito, and not only are the characters crying, but your players are crying too. Like, those are moments where you just like, that theater of the mind just really hits, and you're like, yes.
Yes. DC is amazing. Next.
Yes, I should go into the next question. Let's see. What do you expect from your players?
Total chaos.
Yeah, pretty much. I mean, it wouldn't be unfair to say I expect some good storytelling, but I also I know to expect the unexpected, pretty much.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, always expect the unexpected.
There's no other way to play.
Yep.
It's just how it be.
I guess I have a sort of a set of expectations for players. You know, like take it seriously to a degree, have fun, good table etiquette, don't hog the limelight, stuff like that. But yeah, you know, as long as no one's a dick, it's cool.
Right? That's the golden rule is don't be a dick. That's
Yeah,
like the leading rule in every anything you do is don't be a dick.
I expect my players to not be a dick.
Yeah, that extends the golden rule of don't be a dick. Didn't think I'd have to spell that one out for you guys, but that extends to fantasy world as well as the real world.
Yes.
Like if you have players who are treating your fantasy world as escapism to do like their secret violent fantasies or whatever, they're not a good person.
Yeah.
No, if it's not safe for life, it's not safe for D&D.
Yes.
Yeah, murder hobo campaigns not my jam.
Nah.
Mm-mm. Yeah, if you are a murder hobo because you can't be a murder hobo in real life, you need to like examine yourself. Check yourself before you Shrek yourself, buddy.
Because one day the opportunity to do something stupid will arise, and you're gonna think, "Oh, it happened in D&D and it was fine," and then you'll be on the papers.
No, yup.
There's these great things called therapists and rec rooms. Go check them out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are these great things called therapists. Full stop.
Let's see. Oh, this is a call out post question. Oh man, I don't want to answer this. How many hours?
Who's calling you out?
This is all still from the Here There Be, and they ask, how many hours a week do you put into D&D?
God knows.
Oh, I don't. Yes, that question.
Not enough, honestly. I might be the only one here whose answer is not enough. I really don't do a whole lot of D&D stuff on the regular, mainly because I don't have a group to play with, and my campaign is coming but slow and steady, not rapid.
Yeah.
So
I am.
And I've got a lot of other shit to do.
Yeah, I'm slowly becoming more and more entranced with D&D throughout the week. I think I have 4 games now that I'm going to be doing, plus sometimes 3 DMs, plus editing. So I live D&D.
Yeah. Yeah. Don't ask. That's the answer. Don't ask. Let's see. How have you helped players out before or during a campaign?
In what sense is the question? Because like that's a pretty vague question. Because like in the narrative sense, or just in the general sense? Because like obviously my players are my friends, so I'm gonna help them out anytime.
Right. I think they mean more like in terms of like maybe creating the character, maybe like the mechanics behind it, maybe. Like,
Okay.
do you help
Yeah.
them character? Do you let them go off and go wild and then just report back what they found, or do you like step by step them with making character slash that kind of thing?
Yeah, I guess it depends on the level of experience of the player, right?
Yeah.
Because like
And
my
also like
my
what kind of game
friend,
it is.
yeah, that too. Because like my friend Jason, who is one of my players, is pretty experienced, and he was able to set up his character sheet on his own. But my friend Lexi has never played before, so I spent like a good hour and a half just walking her through the character creation, and that's where 8-foot vertical leap comes from, unfortunately. Um, but yeah, the point being, it depends on the level in the gaming sense. It depends on the level of experience of the player.
Yeah. Any other thoughts or next question?
Pretty much the same.
Yeah.
I help players out with character sheets or leveling up when they need it. But some of my players, that they can go off and do it on their own.
Yep.
Yeah. Let's see.
See, I thought I thought it was in the more personal sense that I was about to say. Well, I mean, there was that time when I ran medicine over to my friend's house at fucking 10:30 at night
that
across
also counts.
campus, half a
That also
mile. I
counts.
felt in the rain. I felt like fucking Balto, except in Florida, not Alaska.
see. Let's see. They have 3 more questions. Yes. Proudest moment as a dungeon master.
Ugh,
Tough question.
that is.
I
a tough
don't have a
one.
whole lot of experience, so I'll defer to you guys.
I think it would kind of be. I think I kind of answered this in an earlier one. Like my favorite moment of sessions role play. I think that's probably when I'm proudest of my players.
Can you pick
Okay.
like a single? Can you pick like a single moment out of those moments?
Oh, yeah, there's a lot. Oh,
It's okay if no. Just
oh. Actually, you know what? You know what? You know my. You know what my players did recently that made me
Oh.
quite proud.
oh.
The other week, they spent 5 hours in character, like talking about basically trying to figure out the big mystery of the campaign. And we did not have a game that day. I was not involved in this. They, independently of me, got together and talked for 5 hours in character and basically shared all the information that their characters know, and then talked through everything trying to unravel the mystery. And I was just like, wow, that's dedication there.
That is
Aw.
amazing.
That's
That is
Our
so
sessions
fucking cool.
our sessions never last that long. Our sessions usually go for about 3 hours, but they spent 5 trying to
Wow.
work things like our private home game is the plot is quite convoluted. We've been playing for over 3 years now, the same campaign, and so they know a lot of things, and they've uncovered all these these mysterious logs which were encoded, and then they decoded them, and then it still didn't make sense, and they've just been like putting together all the things they know and trying to work out what's going on.
That is so fucking cool.
That is awesome. My characters did that too, and I think that was my proudest moments. Is it wasn't to that extent, but we left off on kind of a cliffhanger where they were in a room and there was a bunch of guards coming up that were they were wanted by, and we stopped and we weren't able to record the next episode for like 2 weeks after that, but the 3 of them got together and made a plan, and it actually worked. Like, when we got, like, I had no idea what was going on, but they had this plan all set up. They got, like, together out of call and just made this plan to get through, and it was ingenious, and it wasn't something I'd ever think of, and I was like, okay, well, that worked. I'm shocked and secretly very proud of you guys.
Nice.
Let's see. Next question.
Yeah.
Oh wait, I don't think I answered.
You did not.
No, you did not.
Yeah, my answer to being proud of my players in a moment I was proud of them. Fucking. Can I just say like the last 4 episodes? Period! Exclamation mark. Because I think the last 4 episodes. Period! Exclamation mark might be my answer. Where do I begin? They took the plot thread of it so seriously, and like they were super invested. And maybe because the episode prior had monsters that were feeding off apathy, so that might have like spurred them on a little bit. But that totally wasn't me just like trying to force trying to give them a little hint. But like they got into it. The role play was great. I still just listen back to the scene with Andre and Finley, just like interrogating a drunken Veldis, because holy fuck, that was intense. The scenes in the river were amazing. The intersection of both of those things. God, that finale! Oh my god, I haven't. Just God, everything about those last 4 episodes. Just I can't. The epilogue, Finley and Andre's fucking relationship developing, Rowan's family coming back. God Almighty, everything. Everyone played it so straight. Everyone got so into it. Yes, I fucking love those last 4 episodes. They're like those last 4 recordings made everything in the year prior of recording and all the tech issues and everything. Those last 4 hours made everything worth it, in my opinion. And I still love listening back to them. And I can rant for hours about how amazing those last 4 hours were, but I can't and I shouldn't, so I'm going to stop there.
Yeah, but we don't have hours. We have about 2 of those left, according to my computer battery.
Right. So just ending it there with loved it all. I love my players. Fucking Christ, I don't know what to do. I still constantly get ideas for campaign 1 future games just off of like one-off things they say in those 4 episodes. Just like that needs to pay off. Oh god, they said that and that was really cute. Okay, that's happening. Just thank you to my players if you're listening, and I know Rev is listening. So I have trapped you. Anyway, next question. I have trapped you, love. Anyway, let's see. What is the significant part / situation up to date? This is hard to phrase. Up to date for you as a DM. This can be a discovery, something you learned, anything. Oh, so I guess there's like a significant new development that you have
I asked because Eva asked this, and
Yes.
I asked her for clarification on what she meant, and she said that it could be like something that made you realize that you love being a DM, or something that changed your perspective on DMing.
Oh, okay. So yeah, I talked a lot right now, so someone else please talk.
I think for me, it's when my players come to me after a campaign or after an episode and they say how much fun they had. Like, for me, that's what this whole thing is about, is just making it fun for my players. And so when they come to me and they're like, that was so much fun, can we do another episode today? It's like, it's that satisfaction, and it really makes you want to work harder just to, give them more fun things. And that kind of is the realization of like that those moments are like, yeah, this is why I do this. This is why I DM.
That is
Yeah.
fair.
I think it's the same here, really. When players come to me after a session and tell me like how much the story affected them or something, yeah, I like those moments. when they tell me that I did good.
I like being praised. DM did good.
Oh, I
Yeah.
do like being praised. I do.
Same. Can I just say, like, to all people listening, to all in attendance, all players of the world, here's your PSA. The thing that will make your DM more excited to play with you, to run stuff with you, to work with you, more than any amount of character work you could ever put in, 2 little words: thank you. If you say thank you more often, your DM is going to be on fire and they are going to do everything they can for you.
Oh yeah.
So, like, more than an interesting backstory, more than cool character moments, the words thank you are, like, amazing. I
It
would
is
know
the
because
fuel that feeds us DMs.
it is true. Just, like, say thank you to your DM after a session and watch their face. You'll know. We shouldn't move on without Spy, so I'll let him answer. But in the dead space, we can just continue ranting about this because, God, it's so true. Saying thank you, just in general, saying thank you more often is probably important.
Hmm.
Because, I mean, think about all the work, even a DM. I think we DMs should say thank you to the players as well.
Oh
But,
yeah,
like,
yeah.
But, like, everyone puts in a lot of commitment, a lot of time and energy into what we're doing, into our worlds and stories. I mean, a lot of the time, we're not doing this with, like, any sort of scheme for power or glory in mind. We're just doing this because we love our friends and we see this as a way of creating something worth it for them. You know what I mean? In a way, the world the DM builds is a big thank you to the players. And I think being thanked for that is just so nice because it's like if you say thank you for something and someone says no thank you, and then that kind of smile you get, I think that's, like, exactly what that is, just done in a very different way.
Yeah. It's nice feeling appreciated.
It is.
It's also really fun to see their reactions when you reveal something in your worlds. And it's like
Oh yeah.
watching a movie with somebody and you're just like, they're like, no, and you've seen the movie 1,000 times, but you're just sitting there watching them like, yes, this is the reaction I wanted from you.
And it's like watching it for the first time, honestly, because, like, that that smirk you get when they're like, I knew this would get them, is like, it's just as satisfying as watching it yourself that first time, honestly.
Mm.
There are some movies that are better to show your friends than even to watch yourself, man. So Spy still that back, so we kind of gotta, and he said not to start a new question without them, so we are gonna stall.
Ooh,
Oh,
pick
yes.
me.
Okay,
Ooh,
Lance.
pick me.
Yeah.
Is it time? Can I do the thing?
Oh my God, this is the perfect stalling tactic. You're right. It's time for Lance's pub puns.
Yay! Lance's pun pub.
God, I always get those two mixed up.
I don't know what order it is anymore. At this point, I'm. You're lucky we're doing this early, because usually at this point I'm just too drunk to even care, and I just picked the worst joke I could find. But so today I have a fun one.
Hello.
Let me get it up really quick.
Okay. Do you, Ren? I know when we mentioned horrible jokes, I know you reacted to that. Do you have a terrible dad joke? You know.
Oh, not off the top of my head.
That's fair.
Give me a few minutes, maybe.
Maybe. I like the idea of letting guests make a bad joke if they got one now. I like that idea. Sorry, Lance. I didn't mean to take an idea from you.
No, that's totally fine. If guest stars want to join me in bad dad jokes, that's totally fine.
Bad
So
jokes.
I'm torn between making a character with high armor and sword and shield, or
Mhm.
character with dex and dodge. Yeah,
Okay.
I'm on defense.
Where's a chair so I can flip it? Fuck! God damn it. I was wondering where that was going. Holy shit. Oh my god. Fucking
I also
no!
have one that was sent to me, and it's why can't werewolves tell time?
Why can't werewolves?
Because then they would be wenwolves.
But why, Wolf?
I'm just gonna throw a blanket over myself and crawl into a hole and die. Thanks.
And that's been Lance's pun pub. Sorry, not sorry.
You're not sorry at all. Only
I'm
Livy can
not.
be sorry.
Yeah, I
God
don't believe
damn
you're sorry.
So, Spy, going back to the question, unless Ren has a dad joke they managed to pull, in case. I'm just trying to keep.
Not as good as any of Lance's.
That's fair.
I take pride and pity in that.
So, Spy, the question was like, somehow we got to the thing that saying thank you to your DM is like more powerful than any good backstory ever will be in making your DM intrigued in your story. Like just saying thanks to your DM for all the work they do, like sets them ablaze way more than a lot.
Oh yeah, yeah. It's nice to be appreciated. As someone who feels underappreciated very often, it is nice to be appreciated.
Yeah, thank yous are powerful. There's one last question from the Here There Be server. I had to kick a player from my game. We were playing a module. And I changed a very small thing about a puzzle so the party would have a more fun and greater success. He called me out, said that it was not what it was written in the book. I asked how they would know it was not supposed to be in the book. Turns out they bought the book to find out the secrets, character motives, puzzles, and the like. Took away all the fun for me and the other players, so I talked it over with the players and we kicked them from the group. Their behavior wasn't great either, but that was the last straw. What they took from that was that sometimes you got to make the hard calls and things like that. But I think that story is, I think that may have been tied into the last question on accident, and I didn't read the full question, but here we are. That story, I guess, what would you have done? Would you have done what they did in a similar situation? How does that evoke a similar feeling? You know?
Honestly, okay. Here's the thing. I mean, you and we can tell. Like, we can tell our players what's gonna happen. Like, the players know the plot.
Oh yeah.
That for us, at least for our players, doesn't ruin the fun, because there's still that element of surprise, and there's the element of we all want to make a good story.
Right.
Talking to your player, if that's your goal, and that should be your goal for most DMs. But if that's your goal, you should talk to your players about, what's going on.
But I think
what
it is
you want to
different with a
happen.
module. I think it is different with
Yeah.
like a written book thing though. Like when we do a lot of homebrew, so a lot of our stuff is like, I really love this character I created. Let me tell you about them. Whereas this is like legitimately going like, okay, here is their whole story in my hands. Time to read through all of it so I can make the best choices possible.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
I think it's different with a written module. You know what I mean?
Yeah, especially with the reasons given for why they got the book, to basically just cheat their way through no, that's not.
And it's also that they got angry when something from the book was changed.
Right.
Like it kind of feels
Because
to me that they got annoyed because now they
Now they
can't
can't
make the
cheat.
best decision. Yeah, now they can't cheat.
Yeah,
But, like-
the whole point of this game is to think under pressure and come out with these situations. And, you know, if you want to buy the book and you want to cheat, that's fine. Like, I mean, fine, go ahead, do it. But don't be angry when the DM who is running this game for you changes even just like a tiny bit of the puzzle. It's their world. It's the, you know, they're doing it. And if you have a problem, talk to the DM. If the DM has a problem or like the players have a problem, they need to know that they can come to the DM and talk, and you know, it's a two-way road. Like,
Yeah,
Yeah.
especially because in the question it was said that it was changed to make it like to make a certain puzzle more fun. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
and I guess fun is subjective, but also like I don't know, like I can imagine this situation where the DM is like reads this part of the thing and goes, "Ah, man, that's cool, but like I want to do something special for my players. I want to make it nicer and cooler for my players because I love my players." And we talked about how building the world is one big letter of love to the people you're playing with. You know what I mean? So like playing a module is similar, but adding those little tweaks is really like you putting your name on this gift, you know? You putting your signature on this thank you card for your players. And so for a player to basically, you know, spit on that immediately is just really shitty. And I honestly kind of feel where they're coming from. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you view it from that perspective of homebrew being like a thank you to the players, like we talked about earlier, then yeah, someone saying like, this is different from the book, this sucks. Like all that work they put into it is immediately like disregarded.
D&D is all about adapting to the world around you, and you know, that's if you can't adapt, then you're not going to have fun, and nobody else
So
around
we
you is
won't
going to have
survive the
fun.
winter.
Winter is coming.
Improvise, adapt, overcome.
Yes, and
Exactly.
Man. Okay. Well, that was all the questions. Wait, was that? No, there was one more, but it wasn't. I don't think I pinned it. Hold on. I know there's one more. I'm certain of it. I know I'm not crazy. Yeah. Okay, sweet. There's one more. How has your DM style developed over the years?
Ooh, that's a good one.
That is
Ooh.
really. Can I just say, man, I know pronunciation is tough because the W is that a V? I'm sorry.
Oh, ever.
Yeah. Eva's been knocking it out of the fucking park with these questions.
Yeah.
Okay, so, um, yes, how has your DM style adapted over the years?
I think since Ren has been a DM since the beginning,
They definitely did.
Ren,
Yeah,
I
they
think
definitely
you
have the
should.
biggest evolution. I think all of ours is basically just going to be like, we stopped caring as much. Like, we put less effort into planning.
I don't think I know of a lot of DMs who've said that over the years they've like started planning less and started improvising a lot more. I have not done that.
That's fair.
I don't improvise, and I don't like doing that. I like having things planned out, and sometimes I can plan quite meticulously. But in terms of my DM style, I think over the years the most significant change is that it's gotten more cinematic.
It's a
In
good
a
evolution to have.
Hmm. So using Here There Be as an example, it's quite a few people have have compared it to an audio drama, because it is very cinematic, I guess. There's a we I try to avoid rolling where possible. There's been very little combat. Like I always try to keep the plot moving forwards at a steady pace, and yeah, so there's way more like dialogue than anything else. And yeah, that is definitely something I try to what's the word?
Achieve? Is that the
Yeah,
achieve?
yeah,
Yeah.
that's kind of where I'm going with this. It's
Strive for.
yeah.
Yeah.
There are whole parts where I will I'll try to narrate something, and I'll really try to paint a picture with my words, and so the players can really see what I'm describing.
I get that a lot.
And sometimes I will try to do it in a very story-like way. Like I'll describe it as though they are watching a film in the cinema, But yeah, I think that's one of the more distinctive things about my DM style.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I agree with you on that. Like that's kind of how my DM style is too. It's very theater of the mind, very story based and less combat based. I actually had to start adding combat in because my players were like, "We want to punch stuff." I'm like, okay." But
A valid one.
like there was an episode we just recently recorded where they're traveling through this big forest and they come across this abandoned village, and I think I spent almost 3/4 of the episode just describing the world around them.
That's
And
so fun, though.
I apologized because I was like, oh my god, I realized you guys really didn't get to do anything this episode. Like it was just me talking, and they're like, no, it was fantastic. So it's like, I know for me, my DM style has changed dramatically from when I first started, because when I first started, I was still story based, but I was like, oh, I have to add an encounter here, and I have to do this. Now I love explaining things to my characters and like trying to paint this picture in their mind, but at the same time, I've also kind of stepped back. Like I'll explain everything around them and the situation and the scenario and paint the scene in front of them, and then I just kind of step back and let them go, like without and me interrupting them unless they need to roll for something. I let them take over the story, and that's something that has dramatically changed since when I first started.
Yeah, that's fair. Spy, you got anything?
Listen, like I said, I've only run a couple of one-shots. I've never run a long-form campaign, so I don't really have a lot of development in my DMing style. So
That's fair.
check back in another year or so, and maybe I'll actually have run at least part of a campaign by then.
That's a good point. All right. I think for myself, I hope I've gotten better at letting people talk, because I know I'm a very kind of type A / energetic person,
Mhm.
So I know I can babble, and I will babble if you allow me to babble. So I think I've gotten better at learning. Okay, time to stop babbling. Time to let other people have fun be. And but the other thing I think I've hopefully gotten better at is like, I feel like my style, I know you guys have been saying cinematic, and I think I'm weirdly like similar but different. Like, I don't see my campaign as a movie. I see it as a show, like a cartoon almost. So like, I think of sessions as episodes, if you will, like in a show. And
As they are.
And I think of arcs as a season. And I think of like, so when I sit down to come up with an episode, the first thing I come up with, what was my summation of this episode if everything went according to plan? Obviously, it's not going. But if it were, what would the little text blurb under the episode be? You know what I mean? And then from there I go. And sometimes that helps a lot with shots, I feel, because that like helps me have a concise start and end point, And I think that's why Arc 1 and 4 challenged me a lot, because those had a very serialized story. And so I had to think about pacing. But I think I developed, especially between the campaign, there's I hope a noticeable difference in like pacing. So yeah, I think that's my solution. And with that, I think that's all the questions we will get to today.
Yeah, I'm overheating, and so is my computer because I'm in a closet, so we might want to wrap this up.
I have a cursed homebrew, but it's a small article, so I will get it through in a minute tops. Really, the only the most cursed thing is the name, and also like actually it's fairly cursed. This does not have the April Fool's Day tag. I made sure.
Oh no.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Deadlight-Kin.
The what?
Deadlight-Kin. One word.
I don't like where this is going.
I will. Deadlight-Kin are notably able to change into any form they wish, as long as it's vaguely humanoid. They prefer to stick to one form when not fighting or hunting, often one that fits their personality. Deadlight-Kin can never agree on what plane they came from, but they all agree eons ago on a plane beyond mortal comprehension, titanic beings of unfathomable size swam through the void. One such being was known as the Greatest Deadlight, a being of death, terror, and destruction, resembling something like a spider. This is just if you want to play a Cthulhu kin, like an Eldritch Horror kin, basically.
Ah, lovely.
Deadlight-Kin do not have any formal racial naming system. They still. Oh my god, what? The first. Oh, I get it now. This is just making Pennywise. It took me a minute.
Motherfucker!
It took me a
Oh
minute.
god.
It took me a minute.
Hate that. Thanks.
I do hate that a lot. It took me a minute, but it took until I saw the names and I read the first one that I gathered what this was.
Don't like that.
Yeah, so you want to make your player character fucking Pennywise? No, you don't.
Some
God.
people will. Some people
will.
Some people are just like that.
I don't like it, Sam. I am. As for the actual stats, Charisma 2.
I do not like Stephen King and Ham.
They have True Sight. You do not need to eat or sleep, but once every 3 days, you must cause a creature with at least 4 intelligence to become frightened and subsequently kill and eat them. I hate that.
Whoa!
Proficiency in performance and intimidation. You count as an aberration, common in one other language of your choice, and you emit an aura of fear. You know, something that paladins need to get levels in their class to get. You get for free, because you're special.
Oh, this is broken and I hate it.
Yeah.
Tonight.
So, Deadlight-Kin. Why? Also, just having the word kin at the end of something makes me automatically go, oh, this is going to be fun.
I hope there's no Onceler-Kin on the D&D homebrew wiki.
Don't even
Don't
tempt
say
me.
it. Don't say it. You've put it into existence now.
Someone's going to write it just because you said it.
You know what? Fucking... Hold on.
Oh my god, don't eat.
No.
Oh my god, he's looking. I hear the keys.
No.
Oh,
Don't do it.
don't
Don't.
do it. Just for people who don't know, one of my players, my dear friend Rev, is in the chat with us today, and they just fucking typed out in all caps, italicized Onceler-Kin with a horde of question and exclamation marks, and I feel that in the depths of my soul. I feel that.
You'll be relieved to know that it doesn't exist. Yet.
Yeah.
One day I'm gonna look at the homebrew wiki. It'll be there, and I'm gonna fucking cry. So, you know.
I mean, the way 2020 is going, that's the next thing to happen, so...
People are going batshit
That's gonna
insane.
Yeah, that's going to be June's disaster, isn't it?
My friend played Go Fish with tarot cards. There are no laws anymore.
This disaster is gonna be that Wizards of the Coast puts out Onceler-Kin. That's the disaster scenario.
Oh.
Yeah, glad I made you think of that awful thought. Anyway, hey, you know what? I'm proud of us. We didn't do a video game character this time. We did a movie character and book character, unintentionally. I thought I found something original. I am sad.
It was just as disturbing as usual, so good job on that part.
Yeah. Just, hey, future homebrew writers, just bit of a note, as someone who is currently writing homebrew for all the stuff in campaign 1, just bit of a note. Eating other living things should not be a skill. That should be penalized, usually, I think, that are like sentient, like people. Just don't eat people. Don't make eating people a skill. Please, I'm begging you. All right, we can move on now. PSA over. don't make eating people a thing. Don't make it part of the rules text. I don't like that very much.
Please tell me this
I would-
nightmare is over.
Yeah, I think this is it.
Yeah, that's a good PSA to leave off on. Don't eat people. Don't make eating people a
No
skill.
voring in the server.
So, with that said, one last time before we go, Ren, where?
Okay, you can find. I hit my mic.
It's okay.
You can find me on Twitter at AlkaHestriner. Good luck spelling these, by the way. You can also find me on Instagram at Ren Halen. Halen is not spelt how you think it will be. Yeah, I am a DM. I am an artist. I am a musician, a composer. I do a bunch of things.
You are
How do you have
very
time
powerful.
for all of that?
Oh, I don't know. I
Do
don't
you
know.
sleep?
Fair and same.
I'm like thoroughly convinced that Ren has just like stolen the power from like a bunch of
I-
other people and now
I
holds
just
it
need
all.
to know who your warlock patron is, Ren, so I can get in contact with them.
Yeah, please.
I'm afraid I am contractually obligated to not tell anyone. So sorry about that.
Darn it.
Damn.
Ja, Cthulhu Vertagen.
I can neither confirm nor deny that.
Man,
Yeah,
maybe
when
they-
people usually find out how everything I do for Here There Be, they usually either surprised or disgusted. Like, I'm the DM. I edit. I write all the music. I perform all the music. Ooh, there's a bunch of other stuff. Yeah, it's a lot.
You are a fucking inspiration.
Why, thank you.
I thought editing, writing, and DMing was a lot. I've been proven thoroughly wrong. Man. But yeah, where can people listen to Here There Be? Because you need to listen to it because the first arc just ended and it's fucking good.
It is
So
good.
amazing.
It's so good. I'm so excited for Act 2. It's gonna be amazing.
Can I just say at the very beginning when there was a big mystery about what like classes the characters were,
Oh yeah.
that was so fun.
That's
We
pretty
we answered that question in our Q&A, which is
Yeah.
coming out soon.
Yeah, and then you kind of hinted to it here tonight, and I was like, wait a second.
Actually, I did not mention it at all this night. The character classes I did mention were all about the private home game we do.
Oh,
Aha.
really? So damn it! I thought I had nailed it. Damn. Okay. So what you're saying is Meredith could still be a grave cleric.
Quite possibly.
I'm still holding on to hope. Anyway,
Can I ask real
Yes.
quick, what do you think Jasper is?
I am torn. I think he is an invention wizard because I have seen quite a bit of them. I know
Mhm.
Patron is an invention wizard, and I know Jitter is an invention wizard. Maybe I'm just hoping. Maybe not even. Maybe I'm not even like thinking it. Maybe I don't have evidence. Maybe it's just blind hope because I like invention. Because I like invention wizards. But you know, here's hoping. Anyway, that's. So yeah, you can listen to Here There Be all the places you usually listen to podcasts.
All of your
But-
podcatchers.
I still
That's
is that the term?
the term. Podcatcher. Yep.
Huh. Although, Ren, I do think you should say, like, to me, one of the coolest parts of Here There Be is like how you release it. Like
Oh.
the radio station thing.
Right.
It's so cool to me. I'm sorry.
Yeah, so we release episodes online, but in addition to that, episodes also are aired on a local youth-based radio station, which is pretty cool.
That
It's
is
Um,
really
awesome.
cool.
Yeah,
That is pretty goddamn sick. I love it.
it's called Radio Platform. That's platform with 2 Fs. It's an online station. They do a lot of cool stuff there. They do like free radio courses for young people, which is kind of how we got involved in this in the first place. They do a lot of amazing stuff, and we're really lucky that they let us air the show.
That's so cool. That's so cool. Oh man. All right. Well, I think that wraps it up for us. But before
Thank
we
you so
go,
much for being on here, Ren.
yes, yes.
You
But
for
before
inviting me. This was a lot of fun.
I'm glad you had fun. One more thing before we go, though. The next episode is episode 10, and I believe,
Oh, snap.
I believe Spy would like to have a sentence or two about next episode.
Oh boy, still working on that, but next episode that we do is going to be a tavern brawl, the first of its kind, where we invite back a bunch of guests that we have had previously on the show, and we run a one shot for them. Specifically, I run a one shot for them, and I am planning to do an adaptation of the Wild Sheep Chase one shot. God, I love that module so much.
So funny.
With a twist. So stay tuned for that twist. And Ren, if you would like to join us, I'm not sure exactly when we're doing it, but if you'd like to join us, we'll keep you in the loop on that.
That does sound quite fun, actually.
We don't have anyone super confirmed because we still don't know times and such. But I can say a lot of our old guests are like interested and thinking of coming back, and the chance to play with all of these amazing people in the same room on the same day is just gonna be fucking wild.
Oh yeah. Who do
Nine
we have
episodes.
so far?
Tentatively interested, Luke from Trials and Trebuchets, Star from Lawful Stupid, Nick Urasiva from Tales of the Voidfarer, Lance and myself, and I think that's it because I believe Hallie's busy because they're starting a new campaign, and I mean Janet is always busy.
Oh yeah. Poor Janet and Demi are swamped right now with all the new features, and they by the way, shout out again to World Anvil. They are putting up their own podcast now about world building. They've had some seriously cool guests like geologists and YA fantasy authors, and I think the most recent one was they had a Flintlock fantasy author talking about what that means and how to do it and all that. So hell yeah.
Yeah, I gotta listen to that. Thank you. See you next episode, everybody.
Farewell and stay moist.
Why?
We try not to let him say that, but it just happens.
It never fails.
Would you rather me say stay greasy or stay crunchy? Because those are
No!
Livy's contributions.
No. My answer will be no to all of those.